If you ever give up, have to spend 1 hour of tracks and coolest mashups. Freshness. Never give up, so wake up. I'm not there anymore. Promise me you never give up. Never give up of your friends, family or gone. Never give up. Promise you'll never give up. When life gets so cold, so cold and so dark, baby, promise me you'll never give up. Promise me never give up. Promise me you'll never give up. Promise me you'll never give up. Oh, my never give up. Never give up. Promise. 1 hour of the hottest tracks and coolest mashups of the moment. One hour of the hottest tracks and coolest mashups of the moment.
Can I get one more?
What?
Can I get?
Which one do you want?
Play Salt Faith, SAULT.
Bye.
Just SAULT Faith, right? Faith. SAULT. SAULT. Yeah.
The human experience can never be.
It's like really one of my favorites.
Feel the hits. Feel the freshness. Feel the hits. Feel the freshness. I just have faith in you. I just have faith. Know that you're by my side. I just have faith. It's true, your love is heaven. I just have faith in you. I just have faith. Know that you're by my side. I just have faith. It's true, your love is heaven. Woman, cover me under your love, cover me under your love. Don't leave me out in the cold, oh no. So glad I never had to roll so low. So glad I had you by my side. And even if I want love, I bet God provide me. Give it to you, I happily share all my life. No, we never been up with you overnight. So many troubles we face, so amazing how we made it through the night. I know your love is a miracle. Yeah, no, you never question. Not one time you gave me all your faith and all your trust. I just have faith in you. I just have faith. Know that you're by my side. I just have faith. It's true, your love is heaven. Love for you, hang on to me, love for you, hold on to me. So firm and never let me go, no. If I know you are selected, me sound don't play. Oh, we're not going to such faith. And even when we can't find the way, just pray. Feel the freshness. I just love and happiness, everything. There's just one thing I can't deny. Your love is a miracle. I never doubted, not one time. I gave you all my faith and all my trust. Baby, I I just have faith in you. I just have faith. Know that you're by my side. I just have faith in you. It's true, your love is heaven. I just have faith in you. I just have faith. Feel the freshness. I just have faith. It's true, your love is heaven. I just have faith in you. I just have faith. Know that you're by my side. I just have faith. It's true,
Your love is heaven.
I just have faith.
Feel the freshness.
It's true, your love is heaven.
All day, every day.
And of course, that is salt with the faith. And I think that is what we are preaching today.
Yeah.
Welcome, beautiful people. How are we doing this morning? It is 40 minutes past the top of the hour. A little late, very late today. Apparently, we had a little hitches with our connectivity, but better late than never. Welcome to the Vibez Show, great vibes, and inshallah,
Thank you.
it is 40 minutes past 10, and you're tuning in on the best radio station, the Black on Fire Network. I'm your host every Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to the midday. But of course, on Wednesday, we have a little bit of mix up and switching it up and adding a little salt and sugar everywhere. And of course, we are collaborating with the Brain Campaign and talking about mental health issues, and everything around mental health. I am joined by Mr. Young Hazer.
Hey, yo, you know, I keep telling you,
Yeah.
I go by Michael Moeba now.
I don't
Shout
know.
out to
Mr. Michael.
shout out to another guy, Peter Kimemia.
Yeah.
If he's listening, man.
Okay.
Yeah, he knows himself. But anyway, yeah, man. We talk about staying alive today, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful morning, man. It was super chilly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been on this new health thing I've been trying, man.
Okay.
Cold showers, man.
Cold.
Yeah, let's get in on it.
No, that's not anything.
Cold showers in the
One thing-
cold, or like cold plunges.
One thing I've known about health
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
if they say it's healthy, it's not good. The taste is not good, the feeling is not good. So if you hear somebody start saying, I'm on this health journey,
Yeah.
it's not eating trash. And just know their lifestyle is not interesting at all.
Yo.
Yeah, but how are you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. I'm good. I can't complain. I'm just being honest. I was just playing, by the way. But man, I cannot complain, man. I'm happy to be alive. You know, like today was one of those days, man, when I thought I wouldn't make it, man. But I'm glad I'm here, man. You know what I'm saying? Kind of strengthened my resolve. Something about like showing up and seeing a beautiful face every Wednesday, man.
Is that
Yeah.
me?
Man.
Are you flirting with me?
Hey, I am not saying
Aye,
anything, man.
aye.
I said waking up and seeing a beautiful face. We got Chris in studio.
Period.
Good morning, Chris.
Period.
yeah,
For those
alrighty.
who don't know, Chris
Lovely.
is done behind the cameras.
Yeah.
Literally taking all the videos and making us look
Man.
good on the camera. Literally over there. But how
Love
has
it,
your
bro.
week been? I saw you last week on Wednesday. How have you been?
My week has been awesome. I was able to. I got to express myself. I was at an event this weekend.
Okay.
Shout out to Amona.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Season to Kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a listening party for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It was an awesome party. It was cool to do like some music stuff,
Yeah.
be a manager and stuff, because I'm kind of like branching out into A&R and stuff, kind of diversifying my portfolio and everything. So it was a good feeling
Yeah.
to actually like get to curate a space and stuff. Shout out to Isti, the event space, and everybody who came out and made it possible, man. It was just an interesting experience, man. I had a great weekend. Yeah, man. Chill vibes on Sunday.
Yeah.
I think, man. I slept
Yeah.
like the whole day, man, which I think was much needed, man.
Okay.
Cause I woke up on Monday with that glow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm here.
Yeah.
I think my week just started though.
Yeah. It
If
just
I'm
started.
being honest, yeah,
Officially.
man. Yeah, officially,
All
man.
right. Do you start your week? Do you believe like wiki na fire and zange Tuesday?
Man,
Fire bakingi to Monday.
man. I think, man, for somebody who's been like creatively employed.
Yeah.
Let me just call it creatively employed. Yeah, man, you have a pretty flexible week. Okay, for like some people Monday's their day off. Monday's like Sunday for them, and they take the
It
day
depends
off.
on the job.
Yeah, man. So Tuesday, I've heard about that. For me, my week starts around Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
That's when my week kicks off like
Yeah.
completely, man. Cause like I'm usually like Monday to like Wednesday. I'm not doing too much, man. Ain't too much activity. Maybe I'll be on phone calls and stuff, a few meetings here and there. But like over the weekend is when I get active
Yeah.
because I'm in the creative sector.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to change that though.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's gonna happen.
How do you can you get out of? Yesterday we were talking about
Yeah.
being in the creative space as somebody who's actively there.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think it's easy for somebody to get out of that zone to get to a 9 to 5?
Yeah, man. No, man. I kind of feel like, man. I'll be honest, man. I have never been employed in my life.
Okay.
Like seriously employed, like 9 to 5 for a long period of time.
Yeah.
It's kind of difficult,
Yeah.
like making that transition, especially if you've never done it before.
Yeah.
But like it's something that you pick up. It's like a skill. I think it's about attitude,
Yeah.
but it definitely is difficult because I've been around creatives, man. Creatives like myself who've never been employed. They're pretty difficult to work with. They don't take instruction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They want to set their own hours all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No idea of structure. But yeah, that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? But like it's definitely like I think the 9 to 5 thing for me, how I look at it, because I look at it from the outside looking in, I'm very optimistic about it. It looks like, oh man, it's gonna humble me and turn me into into this serious human being. It's like I guess like a kid and how they idealize growing up and stuff. Yeah, it's so beautiful on their side. Is it that beautiful?
I was looking at it from a space of
Yeah.
I this is gonna sound bad. My boss might come for me.
Oh my goodness.
But I don't like a 9 to 5, honestly. If I could get and thank God, because like I'm in a space where I don't feel it's a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I'm doing what I love.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like when you're in your purpose, when you're in your path,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
never feel like you're working.
Yeah.
Like when you're in the studio and when you're in your creative zone,
Yeah, for
you
sure.
never feel like you're working. That's why you say, "Oh, when I take a serious job," but
Yeah.
that is your job. you
That's
know?
actually my job.
Exactly, and you never feel like it's a job. You feel like, "Oh my God, I'm doing what I love." So imagine somebody who's at the
Yes.
bank or a doctor. You gotta be present mentally, physically, whatever. Probably if you like it, you'll enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you're in a career
Yes.
where you don't like. I feel like it becomes a huge problem.
Yeah.
And I was talking at it from a perspective where I'm not gonna. I named somebody who's a little famous,
Yeah.
and we just had a conversation. And I remember he told me that he had gotten to a 9 to 5 because things were hard
Yeah.
for him in the creative space
Yeah.
financially.
Yeah.
And he had has now a kid,
Yeah.
a woman, and a family who's looking up to him.
Okay.
So he got out of the creative space
Yeah.
and went to a regular 9 to 5 job. And then I also saw him is back now. He's
Yeah.
having like a few meetings up there, and he still wants to get back to music.
Yeah.
So I was asking myself, like, how do they manage? Like, because I have had these questions with artists before,
Yeah.
and there's that
Oh yeah.
stress, of just let them letting go of what they love. Because a 9 to 5 is very demanding.
But you've got a gig
Yeah,
at some level,
am-
right? I
am-
feel like as a
like,
creator,
you have a job, right?
yeah, you have to have a
You
job.
have a job. Let's say they have a job, but if you let him like, or let them unaambia cheki
Yeah.
toka kwa creative space.
Yeah.
Hizi ni time yako ya kwenda kwa 9 to 5. Things are getting hard.
Yeah.
Life is life. Unajua?
Yeah, for sure.
They kind of find it so hard
Yeah.
kuacha kenye washa put in their work, and they had hoped that this was going to be their 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Some people, their 9 to 5 is
Shout out to Munaz.
creatively.
For real.
Yeah, like people who get paid well because of their music. People get paid because of their art.
Yeah.
And that's the 95.
Yeah.
Unajua. Na kuna wenye pia that's the 95 but it's not paying well. Now when you understand that, most definitely music scene is not like that. There are seasons for this music scene once you understand.
Yeah.
The attention is teeny. The attention now. I feel like artists starts making money around September, October,
Yeah.
the last
But for
year,
others,
man. But again, you can maneuver, which I don't decline. But unapatanga kuna hiyo gumu yao kutoka kwa,
yeah,
unajua, like, I'm just gonna leave this because even if they go back to a 9 to 5,
yeah,
most of the time they come back to music.
yeah,
Atachoka because
yeah.
they're not used to.
You're not used to the
unajua
the
kwenye
grind and
wasema
stuff,
ati,
being told what to
lazima
do.
niamke, nifanye. Like, I set my rules. I am a god. Artists
Yeah.
feel like they're gods. So now
Yeah.
they are gods
Yeah,
because they create,
yeah,
And I do this, and it's hard for them to adjust to a 9 to 5.
yeah. I think but successful acts do treat it like a 9 to 5, because you look at Saudi Soul,
Exactly.
they have an AGM at the beginning of every year,
Yeah.
and then they have office hours.
Mm.
Like in their downtime and stuff, like they have office hours, like the office is constantly working, you know what I'm saying? So if they're not like actively recording music, which I think they're never not actively recording music, they're chasing down corporate deals and things of that nature, or strategizing on the next plan. So like if you're when you become successful, it's the same thing. You're kind of working towards the same goal. I feel, for me, like I feel like as an artist, you're kind of working towards a corporate goal, because like in business, if you study business, you find out that the corporate sector is the most complex business structure there is. We're all working towards complexity. So the higher you go, the more structure just begins to develop. If you're still doing the same stuff you were doing when you were at the bottom,
Yeah.
are you really making moves, man? You know what I'm saying?
So myself.
Yeah, man. But there's a lot to be said about like the importance of like kind of having a job and learning structure. Because I was listening to somebody somewhere, and they said something really profound. They're talking about the powers that be have sold us this lie that self-employment is the way to go. But it's not the reality, you know what I'm saying? Because you actually need to be gainfully employed. You need to learn how to work within a structure and create, you know what I'm saying? Before you can even branch out and supervise people, you actually have to learn how to follow orders and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? But they're selling this lie to us that like, nah, man, be your own boss, you know what I'm saying?
Be
Being
your
an
own
entrepreneur.
boss, but again, you create employment in your own boss.
Yeah, you gotta create employment. That's true, but like you also gotta get a job. You gotta learn. You gotta learn the ropes first, man. Like I don't believe anybody who just like fresh out the gate you just became like, you know what I'm saying, a super boss. Because I look at guys like look at even guys in the tech industry, right? Because those are the most successful guys. Like okay, in America, I guess. But like you look at guys like Steve Jobs, man. Steve Jobs, like he did start Apple Computers and stuff with his partner, but he ended up getting kicked out, you know what I'm saying, by the board of directors because he was ungovernable. And he had to go back and take a learning curve before he could come back and become the Steve Jobs that became famous. R.I.P. to Steve Jobs. You actually gotta learn the ropes before you gotta be employed somewhere.
If that is how you see it, I still believe, yeah, it's important. It's really important to like.
And some of my favorite people are employed, man.
All right.
I'm sorry, but some of my favorite people are 9 to 5.
Okay. Some of my favorite people are self-employed. Literally. Shout out to my mama.
Oh, shut up, yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
But of course, today I want us to talk about something very. How do we say it?
Serious?
Yeah. Crucial. Important. Fragile.
Oh, fragile.
Yeah. So.
Wow, it's beautiful.
So we have to like. I have to mind my time.
Yeah, definitely. It's a sensitive topic.
It's very sensitive. Be a little
yeah,
polite.
Yes.
Literally. And understanding, I bet. So today our conversation is about suicide. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want us to have a little conversation of first and foremost, What is suicide?
Wow.
Let's say we're explaining this is a 5 year old, no, 5 years can't. Let's say a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old is trying to understand this conversation.
Wow.
So explain in a layman's language.
Okay. Wow. I was not expecting that question this morning. But I think suicide is wow. It's choosing to end your life,
Mm,
I guess. Yeah, as a
intentionally,
result, yeah, intentionally.
yeah, intentionally ending your own life.
Intentionally ending your own
I
life.
guess I guess that's the
Yeah.
most basic,
That's at the most basic.
the most basic explanation of what suicide is, because
Yeah.
it's intention. Like when you say more,
Yeah.
I'm so tired of this, and
Yeah.
I'm intentionally taking my own life.
Intentionally taking
And
on
if
life.
it is, let's just talk about what
Okay.
are some of the often things that are linked to suicide.
Um so in my journeys and stuff, like I found a lot of people say suicide is linked to depression.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So a lot of people, you the lows become so low that they become unbearable, because it's true, man. You know what I'm saying? Like your mind can become a trap. It can become a bottomless pit of misery if you allow it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's not even in your control. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of this stuff is tied to like mood and like the way our brains are balanced. So sometimes you do want to pick yourself up, but like there's no real way of picking yourself up. You know what I'm saying? So, and people do need that boost. So, like, as in, a lot of reports say it's linked to depression. I've come across stories where like suicide was linked to heredity. So your genetics, like
Oh,
your
really?
family is like naturally, your family can be naturally predisposed to suicide. And I kind of feel like, especially with the hereditary traits, heredity, it's more like, yeah, your brain chemistry. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of like also inherit brain chemistry. Yeah, man. Like you can inherit like your family's brain chemistry is a certain way, and you're more likely than other people to end up depressed. I've seen, yeah, I think it's depression more than
Is it?
anything else, and yeah, yeah, depression and heredity,
Okay.
genetics for me. I don't know. Is trauma the same thing as depression?
I
Like,
think I
is
think
trauma and depression linked?
yeah, the link together,
Yeah,
and mental illnesses,
mental illnesses,
it
right?
also is
Yeah,
linked together,
yeah,
because some people are just not,
schizophrenia and things of
yeah,
that nature.
some people are just
Yeah,
not mentally okay, and
yeah.
they find themselves who
Wow,
they decided to end their
Jesus.
life. Stress and
Wow.
trauma
Yeah, wow.
definitely
Seriously.
of course also are relatable to suicide, or
Yeah,
a combination of many difficult circumstances.
yeah.
Like it's a lot in your plate. And I've realized that
Jesus, I remember that.
most people who are suicidal, or
Yeah.
who commit
Mm-mm.
suicide, what
Yeah, yeah, I'm listening.
most people who commit suicide, they really don't want to die. They just want to end the pain. That's how I
Yeah,
see it. Like it's like unbearable pain, and
yeah.
intention yako si tunataka kudedi, unataka tu hii pain iishe, uko like the only way, and that is you have to reach rock bottom for that to happen. But why do you think suicide is becoming more common?
I think yeah, man, I actually tuned in to somebody who was talking about it. And so basically um it's happening on a number of realms. So there's of course the first one I told you was like depression, right? Yeah, and then like I came across an interesting one where it's like they're talking about the door was open. So like I actually today I wanted to approach it from an African context.
Okay.
So like when we discuss a lot of these mental health issues, you understand that like there's not a lot of information, especially within the African context, with regards to like what a mental health issue, a mental health issue is for an African. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these things we're diagnosing them from the frame of the West, and sometimes you're not gonna find a complete solution, because those solutions, the solutions that are created out there, they're tailor made for those situations. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you even tend to overtreat something that could have been remedied very easily. You understand? So basically, we found there's a breakdown of like societal norms. So a lot of us have kind of tuned into like a Western mentality and abandoned like our African values. You know what I'm saying? Our African societal values. So now what happens is those solutions, those mentalities that you adopt from the West, you're not from them. So you don't arrive at the end of those solutions. So what happens is it leaves you, it detaches you from your roots, and then it takes you on a journey where like as in you're very unlikely to finish. You know what I'm saying? So you're left in this state of limbo, sort of a rootlessness. You know what I'm saying? Like the methali goes like machamila ni mtumwa,
Wow, yeah.
or something like that. It's a phenomenon actually in like anthropology, like that talks about how like okay, so for example, I'll just talk about it. So like people actively choosing to like reject God as a concept, and then not having a, a suitable replacement for God. I'm not attacking atheists. I'm just talking about it. Like, so when you do that, when you take God out of your life and then you don't have a suitable replacement for God, there's a kind of wonder. There's a kind. It's likened to a state of wandering, aimless wandering. So like the rootlessness has been tied to like breakdown in African societal norms. You know what I'm saying? Have been tied to like depression and suicide in some cases. We're looking at, of course, a lack of coping mechanisms.
Okay.
Yeah, a lack of coping mechanisms. There's also poverty.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I mean, financial, like
Difficulties.
financial difficulties, because also access to like quality, the type of healthcare you need, sometimes is difficult, man. Like therapy is expensive. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody has enough money to like pay somebody, you know what I'm saying, to sit down and listen to their problems. And also like as in lack of like sufficient support structures. So they're talking about like sometimes, like, and this has happened to me sometimes, you know what I'm saying, especially like when you're going through a mental health issue, sometimes you're very touchy, so you want somebody to be there and not be there at the same time. You know what I'm saying? It's a very complex issue. And so what happens is, okay, sometimes you need a person who's capable enough to support you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I want to take a walk. I want to just talk at you and talk at you the entire time and not listen to you say anything. And like, let's just walk. Or like, let's just walk and not talk for like an hour. You know what I'm saying? Like you like a lot of times we don't have that kind of access, especially like in African societies. And you look at it right now, like especially in African societies, we have very little time for anything other than the hustle. You know what I'm saying? We have very little time to check in on each other and like find out how everybody's doing, because everybody's chasing a bag. Everybody's chasing this utopian lifestyle. So it's a combination of factors. But I found like, so like rootlessness, so a breakdown in societal norms. I found, of course, like the financial equation, like lack of access to like healthcare, and then just in general, like lack of support systems and spaces, and also the stigma around mental health problems.
Yeah.
So we were doing the research, and we found out that men are more likely to commit suicide than women. And it's because like societally there's a burden that's been placed on men, and I don't know if it's still the same. You know what I'm saying? Because we're living in a progressive world, but like for men, there's always this burden, like you're always supposed to have direction. You're always supposed to
Can you
know.
say that again?
Yeah, men are always supposed to have direction. Men are always supposed to know what it is, they're doing at any given time. So it kind of makes them reluctant to share their problems, because so they were talking about women, with women, right? So with women, they have these spaces for sharing. So when they have a problem, they're very open. They're more. It's easier for them to become vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Of course, women use it against each other. You know what I'm saying? So I'll tell you a secret about myself, and then you'll end up, yeah, you'll use it against you. But at the same time, I've shared it. It doesn't matter if I'm embarrassed. At least I was able to get that off my chest. For men, it's very different because like it's looked down upon. It's seen as a sign of weakness.
So the stigmatization that comes with that
Yeah,
can lead to
the stigma forces you inward, and like going inward is the problem, because like isolation has always been the enemy. You know what I'm saying? Because like when you isolate yourself, like you're open now to all of the attacks that are going to be lobbed against you, because if it's happening in your head now, if you isolate yourself and you're left alone with your brain is your only point of contact. You're only going to be talking to your mind the entire time. You know what I'm saying? So for men, it's been said that men are more likely to commit suicide and commit it successfully. But so there's a stigma. There's a stigma around like actually even like talking about your mental health problems, because it looks like it's a cry for help. You know what I'm saying? Why you? No, it's not a cry for help. It's that you're always seeking attention. You know what I'm saying? So like you're not. People don't take you seriously, especially like as in if you mention it too many times. I remember I had an uncle. He passed away, but it was from alcohol and stuff. But every time he got drunk, he always used to say, "Mimi nitakufa, mimi nitakufa, mimi nitakufa." You know what I'm saying? And after a while, you start to be like, man, whatever, man.
No, which is a warning sign.
Yeah.
You start talking about, hey, I want to.
That's actually a symptom, isn't
yeah,
it?
It's a symptom, and it's an early warning sign of suicide.
Yeah.
Like, I want to die. Like,
Hopelessness.
I'll die one day.
Yeah.
Stuff, and then people think it's a joke.
Yeah.
And then one day, because like people always also say eti anasema takufa. There's this stigma that when you wanasemanga ndio watajiua, wanajaribu unajua kutusikizia ama to like seek attention and all that, which is kind of crazy. Unajua people don't really pay so much. I have a friend of mine who was healed from trauma and depression, and they healed. Of course, it was over time, but because they said it a lot of times, and they kept saying, me this is what healed me. I didn't care about anybody judging me. I met you and I told you my problems. Regardless of you judging me at that moment, regardless, you don't know me. And I kept saying it, and with time, I got super comfortable. And I healed.
And I healed that way.
Just by saying my problems. Sometimes I didn't have to get a solution. Sometimes somebody just had to listen. Sometimes I'll just tell you I have trauma from childhood. Sometimes I had this and this, and people don't listen. It becomes a problem because people have different issues. Finances being one of them. Careers.
Careers, relationships.
Academic progresses. Somebody feels, which I never understand. Today I was talking about which is suicidal, reporting of a teacher in Naivasha. And alikuwa ametumia 40,000 shillings that was meant for an end term trip of one of the students.
Bye.
Na akaitumia to bet.
Wow.
And then lost. Akajua. I reported it in the morning. Don't laugh. This
I'm not laughing,
really serious, because I was looking at it from a perspective of, wow, 40K.
And
now it goes back to also like I'm looking at it from a perspective of where is the friends? Like now going back to and
to like isolation.
And even going back to, for me it was more of, listen, 40K, man, it's 40K. You can always make money when you have life. With life, like you will all bag iko hapa kutengenezwa tu kwa dunia, kupotea, unanunua leo una kesho uko na, unajua. And I'm like, to a point where you una commit suicide because of 40,000, meaning people can't help you. Because 40K is some amount you can raise.
Isolationism.
Because like now you go back to your. Do you have really real friends who
Yeah.
can come through for you? Have you
Yeah.
checked on yourself and said, "Oh my God"?
Yeah.
Because to a point where Mr. Mike,
Yeah.
my
Yeah. It's
God,
cool. It's
you
cool.
listen to you don't have people who can raise 40K for you, friends who can, family members who can actually say, okay, let's get this done. Unajua tumraisie pesa.
Yeah.
It becomes an issue, which was so sad that somebody can die. We
Mm.
have student. We have a student. Was it last year?
Yes, baby.
Who was reported that had committed suicide because of results za KCSE.
Wow.
Unajua?
Yeah, and the speaker was talking about like how the door has kind of been open. So like back in the day in African society, so going back to the conversation about African society, it used to be taboo to kill yourself. Did you know that? Like it used to be taboo. Like if you killed yourself, you got an undignified burial. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's some
And
people
they don't always actually, if you notice, they don't
they
always
won't
say
bury you.
alafu
Yeah,
hata kusema kwa like inaitwaje?
in your in your obituary or whatever. Like
Yeah.
even now, right?
Yeah, even now
Yeah,
they still don't
it used
say
to be
that.
taboo. So like they were talking about like how the door has been opened. So a lot more people are finding that it's easier to end your life as a solution to your problems, whatever issues you're dealing with. Like they find that it's easier for you to end your life, like as a solution. More people are resorting to it. Like it's almost like it's become popular. That's what they're saying. So like, oh man, so and so killed himself, so and so killed himself, so and so killed himself. So it's not that crazy of an idea, because sometimes also out of sight, out of mind is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I think if that thought never even came to your conscious, like, what if I killed myself? To some extent, you wouldn't think of that as an issue. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but at the same time, I do understand like there's a dynamic of pain. At the same time, there's real pain. So like there's somebody is in so much pain internally that the only way that they can let that pain out is let it have a manifestation outside. You've seen people who cut themselves and things of that nature? Like pain is so deep on the inside that you just want it outside of yourself. And I think sometimes you can resort to like self-harm, and self-harm can lead slowly by slowly to, you know what I'm saying, like killing yourself. And that's where we come into like the solution part. So we're talking about things like self-awareness. You understand? Self-awareness. Because self-awareness is the easiest hack. Self-awareness leads to self-love. If you know who you are as a person, you kind of love yourself. I'll give you a bit of a metaphor. So you have a cat in your house, a stray cat that walked into your house. Okay, if this cat never has a name, you won't care for this cat. You know what I'm saying? If this cat maybe one day gets run over by a truck, oh, God forbid. You know what I'm saying? You won't care as much as maybe if you named it. If you named the cat Hazy or something like that. Now you've got a bit of an attachment to the cat. You know what I'm saying? You've named the cat. So the cat now is something that's special to you. It has value to you. So it's kind of like attaching. Self-awareness is kind of at a very basic level, by the way. It's kind of like knowing yourself so that for kind of knowing yourself so that you can like yourself, you know, getting yourself to like yourself a bit more. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, I feel like, you know, I felt that like I felt a real endorphin high. You know what I'm saying? I was at my lowest, and like you know what I'm saying? Maybe I did something, like I worked out, and then like I looked at myself in the mirror and my chest was like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, man, yeah, you right, man. Or like I did something cool by myself, just by myself. You know what I'm saying? Like as in I went to the beach. I went to the beach and like I got something cool I got a duffel for myself. And then I took a video of myself doing that. And then I looked back at that and I was like, man, who is this guy? And I felt this rush of compassion for myself. I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like if you bombard yourself enough with that kind of like positive affirmation, like, yeah, I'm worthwhile, I'm worth loving. At some point, you're not gonna want to harm yourself because there's a love. The memory of the love is gonna kind of rush in. So we're talking about like now back to facts and stuff, and enough of the, you know what I'm saying, the cries.
Okay.
But like self awareness is key. You have to know yourself enough so that you like yourself, man. You know, if you got like I do cool stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm a cool person. I'm worthy of life.
I agree. Maybe you can just finish. I want us to move to another question that I might have for you is
Yeah.
because like people who harm themselves, right?
Yes.
And commit suicide and all that,
Yeah.
they have to be like early warning signs.
Yeah,
They're very
definitely.
grievous. Unajua?
Yeah.
And people around them know this.
Yeah.
Their parents, their loved ones. Because like you can definitely see when if you know somebody, you can tell when they're okay, when they're not. People don't even mostly like I was having this conversation even with I think was with Joby a few days ago, and she was actually giving an example of how she would even get mad like with her man, like just have a little attitude so that aulizwe like nini mbaya, because usipomuuliza nini mbaya kuna shida, unaelewa? So it got me just thinking from a perspective of like if you really care about somebody, you'll know even if they don't talk, even how they talk. Like the moment amekwambia tu hey, you know this person venye amejibu hiyo swali, you know they're not okay. So it's easier to actually see a sign or notice that somebody is okay. So I want us to have a conversation of how do you know this? What are some of the warning signs of suicide?
Early warning signs, right?
I think like we've talked about one, which could be talking about wanting to die.
Yeah, hope like a despair, right?
Yeah.
There's been an attitude of despair.
Yeah, like I just wanna die, man. Mi takufa.
Yeah.
Unajua?
Yeah.
Talks about
cutting
yourself.
Also like that, I kind of tapped in with that sense of calm. So somebody has been battling with their mental health for a very long time, and then after a while they're super calm.
So you get scared?
Like no, they're calm now. Like they've found a solution. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful. It's like a kid, I guess. Like these are really simple metaphors. But if you think about it, like if you look at like a kid, right? If a kid is up to something naughty and mischievous, they're very quiet a lot of the time. They
should be. So what you're trying to say, like if somebody
has been actively battling, and you know what I'm saying, and then all of a sudden they're calm and quiet. It's usually a good time to like check, man. Like, hey, what's good, man? You okay?
Oh, okay.
Like, hey, man, did you find a solution finally to your problem? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, by yourself.
Okay, that can be sudden mood changes. Or
yeah, there was a calm. It was like you could look at like a sense of calm.
Okay.
Or something, sudden sense of calm. Yeah. So
I also see like withdrawing from family and friends.
Yeah, withdrawal, antisocial behaviors.
Yeah, antisocial and isolation.
Yeah, and isolation. Definitely, because like I said, like your depressive feelings are always gonna make you want to kind of like withdraw away from people, either like as in because of feelings of unworthiness. For a lot of people, it's feelings of unworthiness. I'm not worthy of company. You know what I'm saying? There's a shame, especially that comes with like being depressed. You know what I'm saying? I'm not good enough. You don't feel like showing up. A lack of motivation sometimes. Even just I don't want to be outside with my people. You know what I'm saying? So kind of that isolationism and things of that nature.
And the most important thing,
Yeah,
I think we talked about it, drug abuse and
drug abuse and alcohol.
You know, increased drug abuse and alcohol. Because there's a point where you just like, okay, tunakataga lakini yako uko na issue. Are you sure you check on people? Unajua, sometimes people just think And then mostly in this space, creative space of work where it's all drugs and fun,
Yeah.
and people would actually assume that, because I feel like also creative people go through a lot, and most of the time unapata wana commit suicide,
Yeah.
you know, and you ask yourself like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Because they didn't talk about it. And
Yeah.
oh, somebody jumped from somewhere, somebody committed, say a lot we've seen who
Yeah.
have committed suicide, and you're like, they were famous, they had all the money, they had all, and they're like, why did they do that? And then you question that, but you find that in this place where it's all fun, it's so hard for somebody to realize that this is too much.
Too much
Yeah, it's
fun,
like
like,
too much alcohol and drug abuse to an extent. People would assume it's fun
cause
because it's available most of the time when it comes to the creative and entertainment life.
and you're kind of numbing us because like nobody is happy and euphoric
Yeah.
24 hours. So like when you like maybe when you're high all the time, you know what I'm saying, I can't really get a read on like who you are as a person, because a human is supposed to go like through a complex range of emotions. It's not just supposed to be one emotion. It's supposed to be a complex range of emotions. But like if someone is always upbeat, constantly upbeat, I can't really get a read.
Yeah.
You make yourself very difficult to read, which is like on purpose. Sometimes it's on purpose. People do that to kind of hide how they're truly feeling. But sometimes also like I can't tell because this person was always drunk, man. I didn't know this guy was sad. This guy always just was the life of the party.
But that's now you should. You know, they always say when you're life of the party,
Yeah.
they always like hide a lot
Yeah.
through it.
For
So you should
real.
also be careful. Like watu wanachekanga sana, wamefurahi sana. Yeah,
Yeah.
people born happy and all
Yeah,
that.
for real.
But there's also that part where psychology says they try to defend themselves or protect
It's
themselves.
it's a defense mechanism.
Mechanism, so that you
Yeah.
can't come and identify their problems.
Yeah.
But napatanga most of the times they're not genuinely happy,
Yeah.
and they try to hide it through drugs. My
Yeah.
research also says, if you see people giving out their treasured belongings,
Okay.
be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Unajua, it might be a warning sign. It's also saying say goodbye as if it's like the final. Like it's final, like
au revoir and stuff.
unajua, and stuff like that. Losing interest in activities they once enjoyed
Yeah.
can be an early sign.
Okay.
Literally
Interesting.
of or an early warning sign
For
that
real.
people here sleeping too much or too little.
Oh.
Yeah, like
Okay.
they don't have interest. Like they lose to a passport lale.
Yeah.
Most of the time in Akatu, hopelessness. Of course, we've talked about
Hope.
withdrawing from family,
Yeah.
and looking for ways to end their lives, which
Yeah.
becomes a problem. And takes me to like
So like yeah, so like I'll just cut you just a little bit, but like so basically also there's government policy and decriminalizing suicide. So did you know that it's against the law to take your own life?
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, so like the government kind of has
in Kenya?
Yeah, the
So
government.
what do they do to this person once he's dead?
I don't like is there I think there's a prison term. You can look it up real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, before anything else. But like as in so the government does also like to some extent because the policy, and I'm saying this because the policy is unclear on what kind of support the government can provide. You know what I'm saying? Because they are very shaky. Okay, at the same time you have a right to life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time also it's criminal to take your own life. You know what I'm saying? But like this, it's very in between. It's very shaky. In between, it's very shaky. There's no policy governing suicide because at the same time, we're talking about you don't want to punish people who are you don't punish a sad person. You don't punish someone. I know maybe your African mom beat you when you cried.
Yeah.
But like you don't punish someone for being sad, okay?
Yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah.
read a little bit of laws
Yeah.
regarding suicide.
Yeah.
They say the laws regarding suicide vary significantly around the world.
Yeah.
Generally falling into two categories: whether the act itself is a crime and how assisted suicide or Is it enthusiasm is treated? Now,
Mm.
decriminalization
Euthanasia.
of yeah, in Tunisia,
Mm.
decriminalization of suicide
Yes.
in most modern legal system. Attempting suicide is no longer a criminal offense. And historically, many countries, including the UK, the US, and any other under English common laws, treated suicide as a felony or a sin with legal penalties, such as forfeiting property to the state. And United States, suicide is not a crime in any state. However, assisting someone in their suicide is illegal in most states with specific exemption. And they also said in the United Kingdom, the Suicide Act 1961 decriminalization, the act of suicide in England and Wales. In the global trend, the majority of the countries have removed criminal penalties for the individual attempting suicide, focusing instead on prevention and mental health support system.
Okay.
Assisted suicide, while the act of ending one's own life is generally not a crime, helping someone else do it is a complex legal area. But the person who helped you do it and commit suicide.
Yeah, assisted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
assisted.
I think euthanasia especially
Yeah.
should kind of assisted suicide,
Yeah.
man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But that's the
illegal.
Catholic in me. I'm sorry.
In most jurisdiction, including most of the US, Canada, and outside the specific medical aid in dying law, and much of Europe, assisting a suicide is a serious crime, often charged as manslaughter or murder.
Yeah.
And legal with strict regulation. A small number of countries and regions have legalized medical aid in dying
Yeah.
or assisted suicide under very strict condition,
Yeah.
e.g., terminal illness, mental capacity, and multiple requests. Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
yeah, it's a slippery slope for the government, especially because at the same time it's kind of damned if I do, damned if I don't. Because if they let you, if they let people, if they make suicide legal,
Mm.
it's gonna be it's gonna be every. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, the government said we could do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But on the other side as well, you can't restrict people's liberty. You can't put a leash on people's emotions and stuff and kind of like stop them from feeling the way they do, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a lot. Yeah,
It's really a
actually
lot.
it's a lot, but like the government has a part to play. You know what I'm saying? They need to actively research on policy. They need to find policy. It can't just be the NGO sector,
Yeah.
because if I'm looking at it, the people that are most active in any of these sectors, man, especially like in these spaces, it's not the government, it's always NGOs, which is crazy, because not everybody has access, like I told you, to expensive healthcare or information. You know what I'm saying? So the government has to take an active role. So basically, where we're going is now we're gonna talk about solutions.
And how we can help
Yeah, how we can help.
people
So
at that.
yeah, so we've got groups. I was checking out a group called Shamiri.
Okay.
Shout out to Shamiri. So Shamiri basically
Is it
what?
in Kenya?
Yeah, it's in Kenya. Shamiri means to thrive.
Yeah.
So basically they were handling it in terms of, so they kind of created a tiered mental health model. So we have at the very top we have the doctors, who are the psychiatrists. Then we have like psychologists, therapists, and then we have teachers. So these teachers would teach families, they teach people in the society how to diagnose and find, like, so like to diagnose, because at the first step to, like, as in suicide prevention, they said, is to train people how to catch symptoms. Okay, so you've got to train people how to catch symptoms first. So, like, as in, I gotta, like, everybody, it's got to be a basic skill. Everybody should be able to tell, hey man, that person is suicidal. You know what I'm saying? And like act on it quickly, because they said like that nearly all suicides are preventable. Nearly all of them, not all of them, but like nearly all of them, you can prevent most suicides. So I think the first step would be first training people how to catch these symptoms. You know what I'm saying? And then we also talked about, like, kind of so a tiered approach, right? So we have the psychiatrist, because there's people who have mental problems that need medicine, and then we have the psychologist, therapists, people who have the problem is of the mind. You see, the other one is of the brain,
Yeah.
and this one is of the mind.
Yeah.
And then we have the teachers who teach you how they who actually can be healthcare people who can do outreach in society. I kind of felt like the tiered model was the best for me, because like we definitely, especially even in Africa, man, like there's a real human resource problem, especially when it comes to expertise with like with regards to like mental health issues. And like, because for the reality is like it needs to be all hands on deck if we're gonna have like a proper society. So we might as well get as many people as we can, you know what I'm saying, competent enough to deal with mental health issues, you know what I'm saying, and kind of nip these things in the bud. Because like I told you, sometimes there's also like, I kind of feel like, especially from the West, and like I'm not sharing a bias or anything, man. Apologies to my people who are living in the West, but there's a certain hypochondria around mental health that is contagious. You know what hypochondria is? It's like having like symptoms, like kind of false symptoms. I kind of feel like, especially like, you go on, you clean your house a bit too much, you say you have OCD. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of thing. It's a problem that's come from the West. You know what I'm saying? Like, as in, you can't sit still. A kid can't sit still. It's ADHD, because that's what they're doing to like black children in America. You know what I'm saying? Like, as in, a kid can't sit still. A kid is a kid, man. You know what I'm saying? But the ADHD. You know what I'm saying? Okay, it's a systemic. They put on drugs, psychiatric medicines that, and psychiatric medicines have.
But is that not
long,
like prevention?
No, like those things have long-lasting effects. I've personally taken psychiatric meds for a while, and like I can testify to like the long-term effects. You know what I'm saying? It's not something I'd advise. Of course, like some people have problems. Anyway, I digress. So anyway, like there's a certain, I guess, like a hypochondria that we need to, like, certain problems can be fixed. You know what I'm saying? Within society, we can talk a few things out. You can learn how to take a walk. You know what I'm saying? You can actually get consistent, and you can get around people who actually help your healing journey. You know what I'm saying? So we have the tiered approach. There's tiered mental health, and then we have families and sharing. Families and sharing. And then we have the creation of safe spaces to have these conversations, because especially like in the African, like, because today I felt touched to speak on like the African mental health conversation. And like a lot of things, like, you know, we tend to stigmatize each other a bit too much, you know what I'm saying? So like I feel like there's also an importance of creating safe spaces. You know what I'm saying? Actually, like having a place where like you can talk and not feel like you're talking someone's head off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Because I'm not against having social groups, like, we're okay, maybe we're not we're, like we can get together, a bunch of people who are dealing with issues, and talk for hours and hours to each other about our problems, and then we can live and go function in society. It's okay. You can even have an event around that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so creation of safe spaces also is a very important. So, but yeah. So
what are some of the healthy coping skills?
Healthy coping skills, of course, like there's,
As a preventive factor for suicide.
as a preventative factor for suicide, healthy coping mechanism. Like I kind of feel like I feel like personally, I'm not in a position to actually speak on that too well, because like I think the depth of my research got me to a place where like a lot of people, and I'm telling you, like the research isn't there. I kind of feel like maybe the research isn't there. For me personally, I didn't research too well, I guess. But like they're talking about like life is going to be stressful. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell that.
Yeah,
You can't tell that to somebody who's like
already
in
that
deep
position.
pain. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Like yeah,
I'm like the worst person to have a conversation. And I'll say this, man,
Mm.
and I just and I've said this before, and it's
Yeah.
not even about only suicide. I think it's mentally.
Yeah.
I guess I see myself as, which is not true, because
Yeah.
I'm also very fragile,
Yeah.
but very strong. Like
Yeah.
naonanga vitu niko like, man, hakuna kenye naweza nishinda.
Yeah.
That's I feel like my
And
mentally I'm always like, hakuna kenye naweza nishinda kwa hii dunia kufanya.
yeah.
Unaelewa? Sasa nikifika rock bottom ama nifike pale, I tend to get up so fast.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes to me and they're going, mimi naambianga cheki, kwa hii dunia kuna mashida, lakini
yeah.
uta manage because mtu amepita, unajua. But looks like it's not the right conversation.
It is and I guess it is and it isn't.
With somebody who
That's what,
is already in that position. Unajua, because they are saying stuff like I hope I can get them right, and I think the key messages and what to avoid.
What to avoid?
Yeah, what to avoid and the language to avoid.
Triggers, but like there's so
Yeah.
much therapy around avoidance, and like very little I think around resilience. Because yeah, it's true. Life is going to be challenging, right? Yeah. So like I feel like it's a balance of both. I think if you ask me. So we find maybe a balance between resilience and a bit of like avoidance, you know what I'm saying? If it's something that like you definitely can't deal with, like then definitely avoid it. But like and I'd like to shout out to my brother Davy Carr. He's gotten a lot of spotlight. Yesterday he got shouted out on some show. So today I guess I'm gonna shout him out. He said that the burden of this generation, the mental health burden of this generation is different from the other one, because from the previous generation, because the previous generation, especially like it was more, there was a way to escape your problems, you know what I'm saying? But like
In the previous generation?
you could forget about your problems. It was kind of like I can't paraphrase. I'll have to paraphrase, but it was like you have to escape. Like the previous generation could escape their problems. So you, like if you were sad, you'd drink and go out and party, and your problems would go away. You know what I'm saying? But nowadays, like you'll be sad and you'll go drink and you'll even be sadder for some reason. So he said like the burden of proof here, like for this generation, the solution lies in understanding that you actually need to deal with your problems. Now, this generation you have to deal with your problems. You have to confront your problems. You have to face them head on and deal with them. You understand? You've got to deal with them, because otherwise there's no other way. There's no I'll go to this other town and I'll forget all about it. No. It's all happening in here. You know what I'm saying? It's all happening in here. It's happening in here. You know what I'm saying? It's happening. So you have to deal with it. You understand? And like I feel like that's a good coping mechanism. Like first of all, understanding that you are responsible for yourself. I know like there's a whole conversation about like being your own God and stuff. I'll just tell you, like for free, man, like you ain't gonna be God. You're not God. Okay? Like max out your potential as much as you can. You know what I'm saying? Become as big a ruler over your problem as you possibly can. You know what I'm saying? Gain as much knowledge as you need to. You know what I'm saying? Put in as much work. Don't be afraid, you know what I'm saying, to be as vulnerable as you need to be. And work ain't always just working out and, you know what I'm saying, the hardcore flexing. be as vulnerable as you need to be. You know what I'm saying? Even if it, yeah, like do whatever it is you need to be to do in future which is I, my guys.
Literally.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I
Yeah.
agree.
So go
Usiogope.
could do the most.
Amazing. A conversation that I'd really want us to tackle this
Yes.
morning, which I feel is also important, is how social media affect mental health.
Social media. I think I kind of feel like to some extent for me
Mm,
it's more like the for me the biggest issue has been the lack of critical thinking.
mm,
Yeah, man. Like I don't know if you find it this way, but like we don't logically arrive at conclusions
mm.
anymore
Elaborate.
to some extent. Like I can't, like if I'm faced with a problem, say for example, mm, say for example say for example one plus one is equal to two.
Mm,
I no longer want to take the time to actually like break down my problem. You know what I'm saying? Find out, okay, maybe I have an issue, prove I need to prove that one plus one is equal to two. I can't take a stick. I don't have the thinking. I don't have enough thinking of my own initiative, kind of like mental critical thinking, like to put it very badly, poorly, poor grammar is like mental initiative to actually like arrive at these conclusions myself. We don't test theories anymore. We're always quick to rush to our phones. Hey, let me just Google it. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
And like I just found out recently, man, that an AI company actually took a bunch of like old rare manuscripts and they like and fed them like as in to teach AI and stuff, and afterwards they destroyed the books. You know what I'm saying? There's a capacity for distortion of information on these things, man. You could be getting fed a lot of very bad information and you're basing your entire life and existence and your thought processes on things that you haven't proven for yourself. People don't try things anymore. They don't test things. They don't
They don't want to
arrive at
experience their
conclusions.
own potential too.
You,
I feel like
you don't even we don't problem solve
mm,
like we used to. You know what I'm saying? Like I sit down, I look at this thing, and I'm curious about, okay, how does it work from top to bottom? Break it down. I'll just go on. Okay, man, you can just like if it's a wiring issue, like I'll just go to YouTube and fix it. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of feel like it kind of robs you of a life experience when you have a very surface existence that's only based on like this and like a small bit of a tap of a button. Like that's how I arrive at this conclusion. I think sometimes it's also more rewarding to actually like walk towards an answer. So my biggest issue with phones has been that. And then there's a level of apathy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's come with technology. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a complaint a while back, like during the rise of video games, where people were, you play a highly violent game and you're killing people, and you stop caring about like the toll of human life. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching really bloody stuff on Twitter, maybe war stuff. You know what I'm saying? You slowly get desensitized. I look at very curvaceous women on Instagram, and like I lose all attraction for like a normal female because those women are hyper. You know what I'm saying? They're hyperinflated. These are not real women. And I'll like over time I'll say, man, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? But after a while, I'll be like I lose attraction for women around me, and that leads to a plethora of problems. I look at porn, I'll start looking at porn, and then it decreases for men, especially like porn, not necessarily always masturbation, but the guilt always erodes your self-worth, and the self-worth, you become depressed. When you become depressed, you despair, and then when you despair, now you're on death. You know what I'm saying? Despair is like dying. You understand? So like I kind of feel like my biggest issue with the phone, I think, is for me though personally is like the critical thinking, man. we need to go back to like critical thinking. You know what I'm saying? Break down a problem and find a real solution. Shout out to everybody who does game nights and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Kind of keeping the culture
like, I
alive.
feel like people really base
Love.
their life
Yeah,
a lot on social media.
on social media.
Instead of going to experience something
No,
and
okay.
be like, hey, acha niende niangalie, si mtu even ndio inafaa ikuwe. And it's not even the way my life. I miss the whole experience of my life, because one thing people don't understand is the experience is not going to be the same as, even if we decide you're going to Europe today or you're going to South Africa today, utakuja na different stories. Me nikienda South Africa, and that tells you like it's not the same thing. Instead of me enjoying the whole process, I'd rather go and see somebody who has done it before, a social life, whoever, and I'll be like, okay, so this is what people are doing right now, unajua, and I miss out on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, curated experiences are kind of
like I miss out the whole experiences in life. There's pressures of social media that I actually think affect a lot of people mentally. Because like also when you understand like your financial capability is not the same as other people's financial capability. And people don't also understand that social media has been curated to sell an agenda to you. And you when you understand that everything that has been overhyped in social media has a reason and it's an agenda. And don't come for me, might be the LGBTQ. You go and look at the most watched videos. Utapata certain people, and that's what you see on your FYP. Then people start taking you and taking. It's a norm. It's normal to do this. Like this is what is happening.
You're getting desensitized.
Oh, you have to be aesthetically pleasing, and now being natural is bad.
For real.
And all you see is makeup. All you see is you forget about, hey, it's okay to actually embrace yourself. It's okay to be natural. All we see is long straight wigs. Now your hair is bad. And then all you see is, oh, you need to use this hair products, body products, and you don't even see that those go and affect your melanin. So it becomes like a huge problem. I definitely think like the pressures in social media, people should definitely understand that all these things are agendas to push a mission or to push something to the world. And people should stop having this pressure, because it goes back to making you feel like you're worthless. Now because everybody's doing this, I can't do this. Now because everybody's living in apartments in Kilimani, now I am not okay. Let us stop all this. I feel like the pressures that come with social media actually go back, and it goes back to you not knowing who you are. Because now when you don't understand self-awareness, you start feeling like you're worthless. You start feeling like, oh, I'm poor. Oh, you start feeling like I'm not worth it. All my peers have managed this. Where am I? But when you go back to the real life, that's not it. People have forgotten to live their lives. People are living through social media, and they don't understand it is social media. It is not reality. It is social,
man. I gotta dress up before I go out into society, you know. So
and then when you look at anytime there's a camera, it's action. For real. Like me and you having a conversation, we wouldn't be so dressed up in cameras just because there are cameras. There's a certain way we can sit. We don't normally sit like this, Hazel.
That's true.
Human beings don't sit like this. But I'm gonna make a kiti, mguji a kiti, I'm gonna make a floor. But just because there are cameras, we have to have a posture. And that's all acting.
It's true.
It's not the reality.
This is not real, folks.
Except whatever we are saying.
Of course.
So social media has a really big influence on mental health, which should be looked up to. And just before we come to the end of our show, how can we reduce the stigma around counseling?
The stigma around like getting help and therapy. I think normalizing having these conversations at home. You know what I'm saying? Because I think the better you are at expressing yourself, the more you're able to articulate. It's actually better. Like as in the more you speak and you learn how to articulate your feelings, the wider range of the more access you have to your emotions, and you gain more emotional depth. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you're dealing with a complex emotion, and part of the problem, part of the frustration is being unable to give voice to an emotion that you feel deeply. I'm feeling something, but I don't really understand what it is. And I don't understand what it is that's on the inside of me. You know what I'm saying? What is this that's bothering me? Like on the inside, and I can't give voice to it, and now I'm just gonna act out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do something terrible because I don't understand how I'm feeling. I'm feeling terrible. So like I kind of feel like, yeah, talking it out. Normalize talking it out with your friends. Normalize talking it out with your family. You know what I'm saying? So that when it does come time to seek help, if you have an actual issue that you need help for, you actually know what it is. You can kind of put a finger on it. You can arrive at those conclusions. It's tied to critical thinking, this talking thing. You know what I'm saying? Talk it out with everybody who's willing to listen. You know what I'm saying? And talk it out. So definitely, we'll start by normalizing these conversations. You know what I'm saying? Figure out what's what. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, get more social. I kind of feel like also like people need to, like, you know what I'm saying, get to know each other. Take an interest in people, man. Take an interest in human beings. Human beings are complex, man. You're not the only human being. You're actually very boring if you think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're better off actually listening to somebody else, man. You know what I'm saying? You'll gain more insight from listening to somebody else than you will from listening to yourself. Um I think for me, like normalizing having these types of conversations is definitely gonna be a huge step in reducing the stigma around these things. Also, like the government, man, I really do feel like the government needs to take up this issue of mental health and create the kind of policy that we need. You know what I'm saying? Because
Why is it that why have I never seen where like the counseling is free?
yeah, you know what I'm
It's
saying?
always you have to pay, and then there is that mentality
Or it's
of
paid for by an
then
NGO.
there is also or they only do, and it's always shallow counseling because when you go to these forums, you don't really
Yeah,
get a one-on-one.
yeah,
Because I'm like, okay, I'm going through this shit, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
this NGO is holding this stuff,
yeah,
and there's gonna be counseling.
yeah,
I don't get that one-on-one free session with a
yeah,
counselor.
yeah,
We go together, we talk about the basic stuff, get better.
yeah.
There's no like deep connection because I definitely feel a one-on-one
Mm,
conversation and counseling
mm-hmm.
brings more results, or it's more
Do you feel like
tangible
a call center
compared.
would be helpful?
Calls, yeah, some people do counseling, ushauri wellness.
Yeah.
They do counseling through phones,
Yeah,
literally, because they're all distributed all over Kenya,
yeah,
and now they have a call line.
yeah,
Because, and it helps a lot because there are people who fail, mostly men, and this is what they've told me before.
yeah,
Men come for the first session,
yeah.
and then they never come back.
Because of
Most
the
of the men.
anonymity issue, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's also that fact of I wanna say this, but I'm scared
Yeah.
somebody's gonna judge me, or if they know me, they're gonna. People use pseudo accounts because they don't wanna be known.
Yes, sir.
Unajua?
Yeah.
Just because I'm protecting myself, but you're just protecting your physical self. The
Yeah.
inner you is the real you.
Yeah, for real.
Unajua? So if you want to actually get better, you have to work it from
Yeah,
inside.
yeah, you have to work it from the
Unajua?
inside, yeah.
Because whatever you work from inside will show automatically
Yeah,
outside. If you're working out and I don't, I'll just see.
yeah,
When you walk, I'll be like, nice body.
yeah,
Like unaendaga gym.
yeah,
Unajua?
yeah,
And you've been doing it privately, unajua?
yeah.
If you take care of yourself, I'll be like, you
Mm.
smell nice. Unajua?
Yeah,
Na
for
ulioga
real.
tu peke yako, hakuna mwenye alijua.
Alijua
So in
ulioga.
short, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
for you to be better outside,
Yeah,
you have to put in work inside.
yeah.
So you feel like a lot of people are not
So-
comfortable with their, let's say, with themselves.
Yeah,
Like our mini, they can be able to, they're embarrassed.
yeah.
So call centers, I
Yeah.
think, would definitely be a factor
Yeah.
and help through those people who are not yet.
Yeah, this word to
Okay.
the government, if
Mm.
they're listening, man, like as we need to actively take up policy.
Is there any government counseling or whatever
because
that is free.
I don't know. We might need to do the research, but like I
Mm.
kind of feel like if the government took an active interest in the well-being of its citizens, it would learn a lot more. It's better than any campaign. Even, you know what I'm saying? If a government is trying to popularize itself, you can just go down here and check people's temperature, and they tell you everything that you need to know about to win your next election or whatever it is you want to
Yeah.
do. You know what I'm saying? But actually take a real and active interest in your people's well-being, man, because it's tied to, like, as in how much growth you'll
Exactly.
report as a country. You know what I'm saying? So basically, I also feel like we need to create more safe spaces that promote mental health,
Yeah.
like especially like in the urban setting, man. Like I kind of feel like I kind of feel like the lack of access to nature, and also like the lack of access to places where you can be alone and with your thoughts without noise and hustle and bustle, man. That's kind of also tied to
Because
these
like
types
also
of
your
problems.
environs also matter a lot.
Yeah, so
Unajua.
we need to create like safe spaces, like places where I can have a conversation or I can think, you know what I'm saying, by myself without any noise. You know, creation of safe spaces is also very important. But like I think most important of all, and I will go back to it, it's a big one. It's self-awareness. Yeah, like be aware of yourself. Hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm alive. I'm worthy of love. Yeah, I'm worth it.
Talk positively about
Yeah.
yourself. Because somebody said this to me sometimes. Your biggest supporter, was it Stella? If
Uh,
I'm not wrong, last time. And she said you're your biggest fan.
yeah, your
If you're
biggest,
not your hugest supporter, then there's nothing that is gonna happen.
that's a big
Yeah, cause
cure
like
to a lot of these
cause
problems.
like you talk highly about yourself. You're your
Yes.
biggest cheerleader.
Cheerleader.
Yeah, you know, like
Mm.
if you say stuff like, "Hey, I'm
Mm.
worth it. Hey,
Yeah.
you know, Jua,"
Yeah.
and it works. Like literally, I am better. I am the baddest. I am this,
Yeah.
and eventually you say, "I'm rich." You become rich. There's
You
also the
become
power of the
rich.
tongue.
Yeah.
Unajua,
And trust the process. Usiharakishe maisha yako
Yeah.
juu unaona ni kama you're behind.
Yeah.
You know, trust the process. Slow gains, man. Like nothing good ever came quick. You know what I'm saying? It's always been slow gains. Even the stuff like even because like sometimes I also look at like you look at people's growth and it looks exponential, but you don't realize how painfully slow it is, man. The growth process. Even plants, they take a lot of time to grow. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta give yourself time to actually grow through the motions. You know what I'm saying? And build something that's gonna stand the test of time. Because like anything that comes up too quickly is just gonna go down just as quickly. So it's kind of rooted in trust. You know what I'm saying? Trusting. Even when the results aren't showing immediately, I kind of feel like, because the impatience also is a huge factor. You know what I'm saying? So um you slow gains, whatever it is you're doing, manage your expectations. Don't over manage them like me, man. I remember I was doing half a push-up at one time.
Really?
And yeah, just baby steps.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, don't over manage your expectations
Yeah,
as well. But
alright.
like, yeah, but
Makes
like
so much
trust the process.
Mm.
Work hard at it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Work hard at it, man, so you can be proud of it.
Okay, makes so much
Man,
sense.
I love y'all.
But maybe something you'd like to tell the people listening, like the last words as we just come to the end of our show, or a key message.
Yeah, so anyway, Kwanzaa, peace and love to the family of my brother, Michael Mugo. Yeah, he lost it. He committed suicide a couple of years ago. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to mention it. He was a very talented musician, man. It was a little boy that I saw grow up. You know what I'm saying? He was a very happy and jovial soul. So, and he impacted so many lives. You know what I'm saying? Talented musician, and we were very sad to see him go. I saw my brother Randy bring him up on socials. today. So like I just kind of wanted to kind of like send love and blessings to that family, you know what I'm saying? Wherever he is, we're sending prayers up. And also to the families of people to families of people who we've lost to suicide. You know what I'm saying? Prayers and blessings to you as well. And finally, like to you particular person who's battling with certain feelings of unworthiness, you know, you feel like you don't matter, or you've done something absolutely terrible has happened, to you, or you think because of you. I'd like to send you a special message and to let you know that you're not alone. Okay, whatever it is, we can work it out. You know what I'm saying, we can fix it, man. Yeah, all you gotta do is take courage, be strong. You know what I'm saying, and believe for better. Believe for better, because better is always on the other side. I promise, the future is always bright. They'll tell you a scan and tell you it's looking bleak or whatever, but like the future is always bright, man. Tomorrow is always brighter than today. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man.
Now would be no matter how dark life feels today,
Yeah.
help is available and things can change.
Yeah.
If you know someone who's struggling, please don't carry that burden alone.
Yeah.
Talk to someone you trust, reach out to mental health professionals, or contact emergency services. If someone is in immediate danger, asking for help is a sign of courage, and every life has a value. That is my closing remarks for today. And there are definitely health centers out there. You can reach out to the Brain Campaign.
Yeah, the Brain Campaign, KE.
Yeah.
And we'll put in the legwork for you. We'll hook you up with some good people. You know what I'm saying? Tailor-made solutions. You know what I'm saying? You actually got me thinking about doing a call center as well, man. Talking to the government.
Yeah, like it
Or
will
the
like
people in the
talk to
CBO
your
sector.
friends, also people who follow you who have
Yeah.
like mental and can't reach you.
Yeah.
They can actually have like
Hit us up.
this conversation. You talked about this was this Shawiri?
Shamiri.
Which is who are available
Yeah,
in Canada.
Shamiri is really cool. Just look them up, man. Shamiri, look them up. Tiered help. Yeah, what is it? Tiered suicide? No, tiered help.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So they train communities and they equip them with the tools.
Amazing. So
Yeah.
every life has a value.
Yes.
But family, that is how we come to the end of our show today. Kindly join us on Wednesday next week. Today was about suicide awareness, prevention, and hope, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong. And we talked about the basic factors. We talked about suicide awareness and prevention. We captured the crisis support systems, the role of family, the role of community. We talked about hope, ailing, and the recovery. We also talked about the community support roles, and we gave you a few companies and organizations
Shamiri.
that we can actually reach to when you have or you actually see a sign of somebody, because they're early warning signs of suicide. But that has been our time. Thank you so much. Do remember, the next week we'll be talking about youth mental health, pressure, and resilience.
And Shmoney is gonna be posting a brief from this week's conversation, so you can kind of check out what we on. You know what I'm saying? Set to Fichangi game.
Man, literally, we care. Sisi what show you guys.
Yeah, straight
But
up.
have a beautiful morning, afternoon, and evening from wherever you are. I'm just gonna play the song Faith that we started with by the one and only Salt, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
Or is
Salt.
it Salt?
Salt
Faith?
is like a producer. So Salt is a producer, and then he made like a super group, and then he invites a bunch of artists to
Amazing.
collaborate with him. He's done a song called Luo's Higher.
We'll definitely check him out. But have a beautiful morning, afternoon, and evening. Much love. Somebody in the comments on TikTok was saying, kwani umekuwa deported? Hiyo kizungu ni mingi. And shout out out to somebody called Bass the Goat, the Good, and Asema Young Hayes. I'm a part from our TikTok live.
How we doing on TikTok?
Good.
Been doing numbers,
Leo ndo tumeingia TikTok.
I just have faith
Tunaingianga YouTube too.
in you.
Okay.